light shines on big tech. All the FANG stocks, all the ones that everybody loves, minus Netflix. Remove Netflix from that thing. So basically the FAG stocks. So Facebook, Apple, Amazon, and Google are in the spotlight once again. The EU continue to mount pressure on big tech to adjust the way that it does business. They just released a draft of 2 new regulations to limit the powers of big tech. The first one was called the Digital Marketers Act, which treats companies with massive user bases. Massive user base is defined as 45 plus million monthly users or 10,000 or more monthly business users. So basically, they started treating them as gatekeepers. Basically, what the Digital Marketers Act does is it bars companies from using data from its site to create their own product or favoring their own product over competition. So a good way to think about this is everybody knows Amazon. Everybody goes on Amazon. Every one of us shops on Amazon. So when you go on Amazon, let's say you're just looking to buy a charge cable or something like that. You go on Amazon, you type in iPhone charger, bam, you press enter. Amazon is gonna flood the search results. It's gonna bring up all kinds of iPhone charge cables. But if you've noticed, there's something called Amazon Basics. And the way Amazon comes up with Amazon Basics, which we found this out during their case when they went up to the lawsuit case that they had earlier this year, where we're all making fun of Congress because they didn't really understand what they were doing and everybody was just screaming at each other. But one of the things that came out of that was that Jeff Bezos really just said, yeah, we actually take our users' data, and then based on how well some products are selling, we will actually take that information and then we'll create our own version of that and sell it to people. Hence Amazon Basics. So what the EU is doing is saying, hey, y'all can't be doing that. That's not fair. That's very anti-competitive because you're using your position as the person who owns the marketplace to basically ensure that people buy your products. Because the other thing Amazon does is not only will they just create their own version. Let's say, for example, you go to Walmart, right? You go to Walmart, you have the Great Value brand and you have the regular brand, the other name brand stuff. What Walmart doesn't do is Walmart doesn't push it in your face that, hey, buy our product, buy Great Value, buy Great Value. What Walmart does is basically Walmart just puts Great Value right next to their product. What Amazon does and what a lot of these tech companies do is they push their product. So let's say you say, no, I don't want the Amazon Basics version. What Amazon does is, okay, you want the Anchor version? You want the Anchor charger cable? Well, guess what? We'll give you a discount on our products to ensure that you buy our products. And we'll advertise our products to be the first result that you see every time you search our website. That's not something that other grocery chains, that's not something that supermarkets or any of these other stores do. So what this Digital Marketers Act is doing is saying, hey, y'all can't keep doing that. That's not fair. That's very much anti-competitive. And it is, because what it is basically all the small retailers, all the mom and pop shops that are trying to make a business out of this. Because what Amazon can do is Amazon can basically sell all those products at a massive discount and at a massive loss to ensure that they corner the market, which is what they do over and over and over again. And basically they're saying, if you do that, we gonna come for y'all. And they're saying that if they break this rule, if they break this law, they're gonna face up to 10% fine of global revenue, which is pretty massive. This will be one of the largest fines. This will be one of the largest penalties ever put in place into any company. Basically 10% of revenue. That's a massive chunk of change. Amazon made about $150 billion last year. $15 billion is a lot of money. It's a lot of money that they would lose if this thing went through. And so that's just one of the regulations that the EU is trying to push through. The second regulation that's being proposed is called the Digital Services Act. This one it makes digital platforms more responsible for illegal content that is being posted on their platforms. Basically, you know how Facebook will come out and Mark Zuckerberg will come out and be like, we don't want to be the arbiters of truth. We don't want to hold anybody to freedom of speech. We don't want to do anything. If you want to say it, you can say it. That's what our platform is about. However, For a country like, let's say in Germany, they have a law that says anything glorifying Nazism, anything that glorifies Nazism is illegal. Because Germany, unlike the United States, actually wants to deal with the issue, actually wants to take responsibility for what happened in their country against Jews and against a bunch of other people when the whole Nazi thing happened. So Germany put a law in place that, hey, if you glorify this thing, it's illegal. You got jail time for that. But the problem is what Facebook has done, what Twitter has done, what all these platforms have done, they don't take it seriously. They don't try to remove those content. They don't try to do any of that stuff. And so now they're like, okay, if y'all don't want to do what you know you ought to do, we're going to do what we know we ought to do. And we're going to start fining y'all. And maybe if you're losing some money in our pockets, because at the end of the day, like we like to say all the time, money talks. It doesn't matter how good somebody wants to do. It doesn't matter how well that it may be intentioned. At the end of the day, money talks. And so that's what they're going to put on these companies. And so if they don't meet these requirements, they're going to be charged about 6% of their total revenue. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. And so with the EU pressing in, and also we saw that the United States is finally starting to step up to the plate, because for some reason, I don't understand this. For some reason in the United States, there's such a negative view of anti-competitive laws. There's such a negative view of when the government actually plays the role that the government is supposed to play, which is to be a referee for situations. Because at the end of the day, big business or any business anywhere will do what it needs to do to meet its bottom line. And so when the government starts to play the role of being the government and play the role of being a referee to ensure that businesses don't just run roughshod all over the thing, people get upset. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. Like, we really need to stop allowing big businesses to determine and dictate the way that we operate and run things. However, then again, the leadership that we've had in the last few years has kind of been questionable, to say the least. Has been very detrimental to society, if we're going to put it that way. So that's part of the reason that we are where we are right now, with a lot of these companies just doing roughshod, doing whatever they wanted to do for the longest time. And so now they're finally starting to face the music. And some companies, maybe they were doing it all right. Now they really have to face the music. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we already have antitrust cases and lawsuit cases coming up against Google by the Department of Justice and a few others that are finally saying, hey, it's time to face the music. It's time for y'all to actually pay attention to what is it that you guys are actually doing.